major discovery. They found water on the sunlit side of the moon. But some people believe they made other major discoveries there decades ago, discoveries they chose to keep secret. Take a look. From 1969 to 1972, NASA's 6 Apollo moon landings defined a golden age in space exploration. The awesome imagery of those missions made history. But some people believe that this image reveals a secret history. In my opinion, that is not a natural structure. It has got to be some intelligent species that created it. Tony, in the 1960s, Ken Johnston was a NASA test pilot. But later, as director of the Data and Photo Control Department at the Johnson Space Flight Center, he says on one of the moon missions the astronauts came back with intriguing photographs. Ken, I was in kind of shock. And some of the craters would actually show domes and actual bases. Tony, bases on the moon? Ken's talking about these rounded dome-shaped objects in the middle of one of the craters. But what's even more shocking, Ken says when he asked his boss about the photos, he was told to stop asking. And we argued a little bit. He finally said, "I don't care what you do. Just get rid of those pictures that were taken." Tony, is it a cover-up? One thing is certain. Ken's not the only person to believe there's been alien activity on the moon. Take a look at these photos. Some believe this looks like vehicle tracks. How did these things get there? Journalist Alexis Brooks says some believe they could be the work of an ancient interstellar civilization called the Anunnaki. Their technology is said to be integral in the structures that we're familiar with today, like the pyramids. So the question becomes, did this ancient race lay footing, if you will, on the moon? The Anunnaki first appeared in the ancient traditions of the Sumerians and the Babylonians over 3,000 years ago. Do these images suggest they or another civilization landed on the moon? We asked astrophotographer Andrew McCarthy to check it out. Pensive music, McCarthy starts by examining the photo of the alleged bases. Really does look like something artificial at first glance. Tony, McCarthy focuses not only on the structure, but on the crater around it. When an impact happens, ejecta's flung everywhere. Some of it is flung straight up and comes straight back down, and it creates these irregular piles in the middle of the crater that you see here. Frankly, if it wasn't there, that would be weird. Tony, next, Mars mission planner Jonathan Hill takes a look at those strange tracks. Hill points out that boulders often leave similar tracks when they roll across the surface, but these tracks are perfectly parallel. Jonathan, my first thought was the lunar rovers driven by the Apollo astronauts. Tony, Hill checks images from Apollo landing sites and comes up empty. However, the United States was not the only country that sent wheeled vehicles to the moon. Tony, in fact, in 1970, the Soviet Lunokhod 1 was the first remote-controlled rover to... They look very, very similar to those two parallel line tracks we saw before, but we still can't quite prove definitively that that's what caused these particular set of double tracks. Well, we don't have proof that the Anunnaki ever made it to the moon. So, our verdict, the bases are natural formations and the tracks likely from a lunar rover. And here's hoping we get back to the moon.